Pokemon Winds and Waves was just announced and it's releasing in 2027. Like most other people, I'm pretty excited, but unfortunately, there are a couple of things that I'm a little apprehensive about. I genuinely believe these games are going to be great and I'm super excited to see what direction Game Freak moves in, but this is going to be a video where I talk about 5 things that I really don't want to see. Real quick before we get into it though, if you enjoy this kind of video, let me know. Leave a like, leave a subscription down below, and tell me in the comments, what are 5 things you don't want to see? Because mine are, well, let's get into it. Number 1, reusing the same Pokemon over and over. Okay, it's unavoidable that at this point we know, based on the trailers, there's a lot of the same Pokemon that we've seen in other generations. And while I understand this, I'm a little bit upset. I'm kind of tired of traversing the same water and seeing the same thing. Magikarp, Tentacool, Sharpedo that tries to eat your ass every time that you run anywhere. It's getting a little repetitive. And that's what I'm a little bit worried about, is that this game's gonna be a little bit repetitive from the last one. Scarlet and Violet was interesting in the fact that it was the first really big open world game in Pokemon. Now, you could say Sword and Shield was somewhat open world, but it was also very linear in the fact that it was very vertical. When it comes to this next region, in this next area, I have hope that the areas are going to be cool, hence why they're not on this list. But, based on what we've seen in the footage, it seems like there's a heavy emphasis on Gen 3 and Gen 1. And Pikachu. There have been so many games about Pikachu. 2. Okay, I know it's only been 2, but if I had a nickel for every game there's been about Pikachu, I'd have 2 nickels. Why do I have 2 nickels? I don't want any more nickels! Not to mention though, even though it hasn't been announced, I wouldn't be surprised if Pikachu's new counterpart, Eevee, will also be in this game. I'm not trying to diss all of the non-Pokemon fans that say that their favorite Pokemon are Pikachu and Eevee, but I can guarantee most of you that are watching this video that are still Pokemon fans nowadays, you're probably tired of seeing them. Pikachu has gotten Megas, especially just in the last game, Legends ZA. Raichu got 2 Megas. And also, Pikachu got a Gigantamax form in the game before that. And before that, there was a whole game about it, and then in the 7th generation. It's too much. And then Eevee always gets some special attention for this, that, and the other. Special Go Fetch quest, or special Here She Is with her big old ponytail. I'm tired of them. They're cool in their own way. I like them, sure. At least give me a new one. If you're gonna bring Eevee because you already brought Pikachu, give me a new type and give me something new to look at. I'm so sick of seeing this monstrosity. But anyway, let's keep talking. Another problem I have are these guys. Look, I love them, but especially this guy right here. Oh my gosh, I've seen so many Charmanders and so much Charizard love. We gotta stop. They were the first starters in the first games, I get it, but then they were brought back in Gen 3 for Fire Red and Leaf Green. Obviously, they're remakes, I can get behind that. Okay, cool. Then they were brought back again in Gen 6 as an alternate form of starters that you could choose. Then Charizard got 2 Megas, and then Gigantamax form, and then it was brought back again in Legends ZA. I'm tired of seeing the Fire Dragon. I get a lot of non-big Pokemon fans like Charizard. Dude, I'm so sick of it. So let's just hope that the next big gimmick does not include a new Charizard or Pikachu or Eevee form, because this guy is going to be very unsatisfied. I was trying to rhyme, but it didn't really work. My hope for this though is, even though they've already shown some of the new Pokemon, or I guess the old Pokemon that are being used in the new game, I hope they're kind of going to do like a Gen 5 thing where they introduce a bunch of them and keep it primarily with them. I really want to see Game Freak take this in a new creative direction. You were in a Pokemon video about 3 years ago. Do you want to say anything?
No.
Tell them to subscribe.
Stream Robify on all platforms though.
And by that, she meant subscribe. So guys, please listen to her. Anyway, my fix for this would be a whole Gen 5 deal. But maybe I'm just salty that we didn't get a Gen 5 remake. Moving on to the next thing I don't want to see. Endless text. Okay, I know there's been a whole debate about if voice chat, or not voice chat, oh god, please no. We saw that with Roblox. There's been a whole divide whether voice acting is going to come to Pokemon. I really hope it does, but I can also see why it shouldn't or couldn't. At the same time, I'm hopeful that it will in this generation because it's going to be their biggest game yet. I hate the long cutscenes, as many of you do. I want a way to skip the cutscene, but if you don't give me that, at least give me something interesting to listen to. I'm tired of listening to the music that goes and has those endless text boxes on the screen. I don't care what you're talking about. Most of the time, I don't even like you. Looking at you, hop. Anyway, moving on from that. Number 3 is that wild areas need to be more interesting. Oh my gosh. This is something that I feel very passionate about, if you can't tell. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, that wild area sucked. Okay, the graphics were pretty cool. The story was absolutely terrible. Hop is my least favorite character in all of Pokemon, and Hop, if you're watching this, I hope you go Hop. That wild area was very, very boring. I like what they did in Sword and Shield. I think a lot of the Pokemon looked great. The following was terrible, but the wild area was just barren and very repetitive. So I'm really hoping that, similar to Scarvy, they can really kind of keep up the nice looking stuff. Well, maybe they could use Sword and Shield as great graphics and Scarlet and Violet good Pokemon selection to mix together, because each game had their problem. But imagine if they added dynamic weather, where it's not just every day it decides your weather. Maybe it's like, you know, at a certain given time, whatever, there's gonna be this event and this event and this event. Hidden caves, mini like boss Pokemon. This game could be sick. I really really hope that they take elements from the Legends games where you could almost die. You could take the free roam feeling from Scarvy, the graphics from Sword and Shield. No game was perfect in its own right, but each had such great highs. If we just take all those and put it into a big high pile, that'd be wonderful. So basically, they need to rename these games from Pokemon Winds and Waves to Pokemon High Pile. Number 4, this game needs to have very few glitches. And this, I'm the most hopeful will not happen. Obviously, each game has their glitches. I've covered Poppy Playtime a lot on this channel. I've covered Roblox a lot on this channel, and each definitely have their glitches. However, I really feel like they're taking their time with this game, which I'm happy about. I think I can speak for almost every Pokemon fan that even though I really want the game soon, I don't want it to be a mess. I fully intend on doing a whole coverage on a game as soon as it comes out and making a brand new series for you guys. But even though I might have to wait a year for that, at least it's gonna look like a decent video. I don't want to give you guys bad quality, and I think I can speak for all of Pokemon YouTube where our main goal is to give you the best quality we can. So if I'm having to record a game that looks like absolute dog shit and say, oh my god, yeah, Pokemon, but I'm actually getting frustrated that I'm getting pulled into these random battles with things that haven't spawned yet, I think that's fair to want to wait a little bit. And now it's time for number 5. Legendaries need to feel legendary again. I'm tired of these boring quests. Koraidon and Miraidon were stupid. Yeah, they were cute, but they should not have been the box art legendaries. They're supposed to feel powerful, like they control something. After about Gen 6, it really stopped feeling special. Okay, so in Gen 1, you had Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. Well, you could get an unlimited amount in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, but Mewtwo was super sick. And the regional birds didn't bother me at all because even though there were multiple in the region, they still looked pretty cool. They were pretty powerful, and I liked them. Then you had Gen 2 with the legendary beast. Okay, Johto's similar enough to Kanto. We can do it again, why not? Then we get to Hoenn, and holy trio, we get the Reggies, which have pretty cool backstories. Again, I'm not upset. I feel like there's not a really big problem with the amount of legendary Pokemon, so much as they have a cool backstory and have a reason to be there. Unfortunately, once we get into Gen 7, we can just store it in our backpack, and it looks like a moon. Look, I'm a big Sun and Moon fan. I love Alola. I'm wearing a tank top. I feel like a local of the Alola region. Alola! But unfortunately, I really felt like Solgaleo and Lunala weren't really the most interesting. I liked their appearance. I thought they looked super cool, and I thought the story of Sun and Moon was awesome, especially Ultra Sun and Moon. But unfortunately, I feel like the legendaries just kind of failed to look as cool and as badass as they needed to. Then you get into Gen 8, where you have a Mad Dog and a Happy Dog. Then you get to Gen 9, and you have a dragon that likes sandwiches. Bring me back the rock made of balls. Anyway, I'm not saying that I don't want legendaries to come back. I would love like 10 new legendaries. You know, add another trio, make like a super sick backstory. I have to travel like these crazy waves like a big old cyclone to get to the guardian of the epicness of sickness. And then also make me have to go to the darkest cave underground to find like the big ball rock man. Make me go through the skies to find the thunder dude. I don't know. Make it cool. Make it like a challenge to meet these guys. Don't let me just feed it a damn sandwich. But all of that said, I'm wondering, what do you hope Game Freak learns from their previous mistake? As always, I want to spread some positivity into the world, and I just want to let you guys know I am super stoked about these games. I'm so excited. You better believe it. As soon as it's out, Game Freak can have my $70. But until then, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. All blessings go to the Most High. Hide my armpits. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Good.
You ain't ready for
Bye.
next